All right, so we're diving into a topic today that, well, frankly, hits close to home for a lot of folks. Healthcare staffing. It's been in the headlines, it's at the dinner table. Everyone's got a story.
It's unavoidable at this point.
Exactly. But get this, you sent over some material, and let's just say it's got a different spin. AI.
Interesting, right?
Yeah, usually it's all robots are taking over, but this is suggesting AI could actually be the fix, especially in long-term care.
It's about changing how we see the role of AI, not replacing, but helping, making things better for the caregivers.
And that turnover tsunami you mentioned, after going through this research, oof, yeah, I see why you use that phrase. We're not just talking about open positions here. It's the ripple effect. Caregivers stretched thin, residents feeling the destruction.
And let's not forget the financial strain on these facilities. That report, it cited over $52,000 on average to replace a bedside RN.
52 grand, just to replace one nurse. That's a gut punch, especially for smaller places, rural communities.
It's unsustainable, like trying to bail out a sinking boat. you know? And it just feeds the cycle. Lose staff, money gets tighter, harder to attract anyone new.
And I bet it impacts the residents deeply, too. I mean, think about it. Familiar faces are gone, routines disrupted. Especially for folks with dementia, that consistency is huge.
Crucial. That constant change, it throws everything off balance.
And for the staff who are there, imagine the pressure. Always training someone new while trying to keep the quality of care high. It's no wonder morale's taking a hit.
Burnout becomes less of a if and more like a when in that environment.
Okay, so we've laid out the problem, and it's a big one. But this is where your material takes that turn. It suggests AI could be the solution we've been missing this whole time.
Yeah, it's a different way of thinking for sure. We're conditioned to see AI as this threat, but this material, it flips the script. What if AI could improve the work itself, make it less stressful? Everyone wins, right?
Working smarter, not harder, as they say. And one thing that caught my eye, indebting AI-powered profiles for residents. You even flagged this in your notes.
It's a simple idea, but the impact. Imagine, new staff, day one, instant access to everything about a resident. Medical history, what they like to eat, even if they prefer Mozart or Miles Davis.
Okay, now walk me through this. I'm a new nurse, first day. How's this actually work?
So instead of running around hunting down files, relying on someone else's memory, you open this digital profile. Boom,
Nice.
Mr. Smith, room 202. His whole story's right there. His routine, what makes him comfortable, any specific care instructions.
That changes everything. For the nurses, sure, but for residents and their families too, right?
Yeah.
Consistency, even with staff changes.
Yeah.
That peace of mind is invaluable. So we're talking about how AI could actually help, like with those profiles. But I gotta say, the idea of AI in healthcare, it can be a little unnerving. Are we talking about, replacing human connection entirely, robots giving sponge baths? What does the research say about that?
I get it, that fear is everywhere. Robots are taking over.
Yeah.
But what struck me about this research, it's all about AI working with caregivers, not instead of. It's more like enhancing what they can do, not taking away their purpose.
Okay, so less about replacing humans, more about giving them a high-tech toolbox.
Exactly. Take those tasks, the ones that suck up time and energy, and let the AI handle them. Imagine a nurse needs a patient's history, years of it, boom, a few taps on a screen, there it is. Or a caregiver gets an alert, hey, Mrs. Jones is showing signs of agitation, before things escalate.
That's wild. So they can actually focus on the human part, the connection, but it's a huge pain point they mentioned. Scheduling.
Oh, scheduling, that's putting it mildly. Those long hours, inflexible shifts is practically a given in healthcare. But this material suggests AI could actually flip that on its head.
So instead of dreading their next shift, nurses and caregivers, they actually have some say in it.
Imagine a system that factors in their preferences, their skills, even how long it takes them to commute. Makes a world of difference.
Less burnout, happier staff, better care for everyone. It's a no-brainer.
And it doesn't stop there. The material talks about AI changing the game for training new staff, too, like completely overhauling the onboarding process.
Right. The personalized training programs. I remember this. So instead of, drowning in manuals and generic presentations?
Exactly. Picture this. You're brand new, nervous as heck, right? Instead of that overwhelming feeling, you get this AI system. Walks you through everything at your own pace, tailored to your role, how you learn best. Like having a personal guide through those first few weeks.
That's huge, especially in healthcare. Starting a new job there can be intimidating. This could make them feel competent, ready to go so much faster.
Confidence in your abilities. That translates directly to better care for residents. It's a win for everyone.
Okay, so we've got AI lightening the load, improving resident care, even boosting morale. But let's get real. How does this actually fix the staffing shortage?
It's about making long-term care a job people want right now. It's high stress, thankless, and the career ladder feels like it's missing rungs.
Yeah, can you blame people for feeling that way?
But imagine we change that perception. Suddenly, long-term care, it's not the burnt-out corner of healthcare. It's innovative. It's using technology to support its staff, make it a rewarding place to work.
Total 180. People will be lining up to work there, excited about using cutting-edge stuff to make a real difference.
And get this, the research you shared. Some facilities, they're already doing this, implementing these AI solutions, and guess what? It's working. Lower turnover, happier residents, even their bottom line is looking healthier.
So this isn't some pie-in-the-sky dream. It's happening now. That's incredible.
It's happening and it's working. Feels like we're at this turning point, you know, where technology could really, truly transform the entire industry for the better.
This is exciting stuff, but no solution's perfect, right? What about the downsides? Are there any hurdles we need to be aware of with AI in long-term care?
Oh, absolutely. It's not as if we can just plug it in and walk away. There are definitely some real concerns, challenges we got to address.
Let's dig into those a bit more right after this. So before we took a pause there, we were talking about the potential pitfalls of bringing AI into long-term care. What are some of those hurdles? What do we need to be cautious of?
Well, we got to remember, technology, it's a tool, right? It's only as good as the people using it. We can't just plop in fancy AI systems and expect miracles. Training is key here.
Makes sense. You can have the most advanced AI in the world, but if the nurses, the aides, the staff on the ground, if they don't get it, if they don't trust it.
It's useless.
Yeah.
Worse than useless, could even cause more problems. This isn't about replacing anyone. It's about giving folks a helping hand. They got to feel empowered by AI, not threatened.
And that's a mindset shift, isn't it? I mean, we're talking about an industry that's used to doing things a certain way, often without enough support, enough resources.
Exactly. That's why when you look at this material, they stress this human-centered approach. Can't just be about the tech, got to bring people along, address their concerns right from the start.
So it's not one size fits all. Each facility needs to figure out what works for them, for their staff, right?
100%. Open communication is huge. Training needs to be ongoing, not a one-time thing. And listening to the staff, the ones using these tools every day, that feedback is gold.
It's about changing the whole culture, isn't it? Not just adding AI, but changing how people think about tech in long-term care.
And when you get that right, that's when you see the magic happen. Imagine AI not as the enemy, but as a partner, working side by side with caregivers.
Technology making us more human, not less. That's a powerful idea.
And it's closer than we think. And you know what else this material highlights? It's not just about fixing the problems we've got now, it's about using AI to stop those problems before they even start.
Oh, now that's interesting. Give me an example. What's that look like?
So they were talking about these AI systems. They can analyze data, constantly. So let's say a resident's at risk of falling. This AI could flag that before it happens.
Wait, so instead of reacting to a fall, an injury, they could prevent it altogether.
That's the idea. Or imagine predicting staffing shortages weeks in advance, or catching a bad medication interaction before it even leaves the pharmacy. The possibilities, they're kind of mind-blowing.
It's like having a crystal ball. Anticipating problems, that's a game changer. For the residents, for the staff, for everyone.
No more playing catch-up, right? We'd be using tech to be proactive, responsive, and ultimately to make the whole system more humane.
This whole deep dive, it's been eye-opening, really. You always hear about AI and self-driving cars or, taking jobs. But here in healthcare, in a field like long-term care, the potential to do good is huge.
Absolutely massive. And the thing is, this is just the first step. We're just scratching the surface of what's possible when you combine human ingenuity, our compassion and knowledge, with the power of AI.
Like you said at the beginning, it's not about replacing anyone. It's about empowering everyone to do their best work.
And in the end, isn't that what it's all about? Using these tools, this technology, to build a better future for caregivers, for residents, for all of us.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And for you listening, that's something to think about. If AI can do this for long-term care, where else in healthcare could it make a difference? What possibilities can you imagine? Keep those ideas coming. Until next time, happy exploring.